A quiet Friday night in Singapore turned into a sudden emergency on the 12th floor. A living room went up in flames, thick smoke filled the corridor, and a wheelchair-bound woman was trapped inside. What happened next was a real-life rescue that could have ended very differently. A fire broke out late on Friday night, the 9th of January, inside a flat in Tampines, and 4 people were sent to hospital for smoke inhalation. According to the Singapore Civil Defence Force, or SCDF, they were alerted at around 11:30 p.m. The fire happened in a unit on the 12th floor of Block 898, Tampines Street 81. When SCDF arrived, the living room was already burning. The fire involved the contents inside that living room, and SCDF managed to put it out using just one water jet. Quick response, but the situation was already dangerous. Because smoke can spread fast in high-rise blocks, SCDF also evacuated about 60 residents from the affected block as a precaution. But here's the part that's grabbing attention across Singapore tonight. One of the people sent to the hospital was a 25-year-old man living in a neighboring unit. His mother later told the media that they were at home when they heard cries for help coming from a unit opposite. Someone shouted that there was a fire on the 12th floor, and immediately, the young man ran upstairs. When he reached the area, he found a woman in a wheelchair, unable to evacuate on her own. Smoke was already thick. Visibility was poor. The air itself was dangerous to breathe. But he didn't hesitate. He covered his mouth and nose with his clothes, then entered the burning flat through the smoke and carried the woman to safety. That is not something most people would dare to do. Later, his mother said her son and 3 others were taken to hospital due to smoke inhalation. He was admitted around 1 a.m. and placed under observation for 12 hours. The rescue also caught the attention of Minister for Social and Family Development Masagos Zulkifli, who is an MP for Tampines GSC. In a Facebook post, he praised the young man's actions as an act of courage. And there's another key detail. The minister revealed that this 25-year-old rescuer is an SCDF reservist. Trained, calm, decisive. In Masagos' words, his actions made a real difference. Now, what caused the scary fire? SCDF said preliminary findings suggest the fire likely originated from a PMA, a personal mobility aid. This is important, because many families rely on such mobility devices daily, especially seniors and people with disabilities. SCDF also pointed the public towards a Land Transport Authority advisory on safe use and charging. The advisory warns that owners of active mobility devices may face prosecution if their device causes a fire that leads to property damage or even deaths. A resident living on the 12th floor told Shin Minute that the affected unit was believed to be occupied by a family of 3, an elderly couple and their daughter in her 40s. Neighbors said the 2 seniors have mobility issues, and the daughter uses a wheelchair. That detail makes the rescue even more intense, because for families with mobility challenges, evacuation is never simple. In an emergency like this, every second matters. And this wasn't even the only fire in Tampines that night. The incident happened just hours after another fire at a condo, Santorini, also in Tampines, where about 100 people were evacuated. In that earlier fire, an SCDF firefighter was sent to hospital for heat exhaustion, but Masagos later said the firefighter has since been discharged. Temporary shelter and support were also provided to residents affected by both Tampines fires. So tonight, we are left with a few heavy questions. In a country where more residents are using PMAs and mobility devices, are we doing enough to ensure charging safety at home? And should there be stricter rules on where and how these devices are stored in flats? Let me ask you this. If you were in that block, and you saw someone trapped inside through smoke, would you have risked your own life to save them? If you found this report meaningful, hit like, share, and subscribe to 2230. We'll keep bringing you the stories that matter in Singapore, fast, clear, and straight to the point.